guys, it's Naseem here. Now, before I start the video, I wanted to ask you guys a serious question. Is the PS5 worth getting over the PS4? And that's a question that even I had to ask myself, because even though the PlayStation 5 is great, there are definitely some things that I really enjoyed on the PlayStation 4 that had me questioning whether or not I upgraded too early. And I know that there are a lot of you guys at home wondering if you should upgrade from the PS4 as well. So hopefully this video can give you some good insight on whether or not you should make that upgrade to the PS5 or just finish enjoying what the PlayStation 4 has to offer. Now, starting with the design of both consoles, the PlayStation 5 gives off a more futuristic look while having better ports like the USB Type-C charging port, making it easier to connect to devices such as newer phones, laptops, expanding storage, etc. It also has the older USB Type-A component that older devices use, so you'll never have to make any sacrifices or third-party extensions to connect your device. Another thing that came in handy was the fact that the power and eject button are press instead of touch sensors, so you'll never have any lag or malfunctions when it comes to powering your device. Now, something that really bothered me when it came to the design of the PS5 was the fact that it was much bigger in size than the PS4, making it much less practical. And as you can see here, whenever I tried to sit it down horizontally, it took up a ton of space, and a lot of times it just didn't fit in every place that I wanted it to. Even vertically, it can turn into a pain depending on where you place it. So if you're interested in getting the PlayStation 5, then the size and placement is definitely something that you'll have to take into consideration. Now, looking at the design of the PlayStation 4, it also has a really cool look for a device that's considered old now. And as you can see on the front, you have the two USB Type-A ports. So if your phone or external device supports USB Type-C, then you'll have to add an external port to connect. And also looking at the power and eject buttons, they are very discreet while being pressable. So again, this gets rid of any malfunctions just like on the PlayStation 5. The size of the PlayStation 4 was also very good. Like anywhere I put it down, it was able to fit right in. But unfortunately, if you like putting your console down vertically, then you will just have to get a third-party stand from Amazon. Now, moving on to the home screen of both consoles, I definitely was a bigger fan of the PlayStation 5 because as you can see here, scrolling through different applications is a much more smoother experience compared to the PS4, where scrolling feels much slower and the icons of the different applications feel more basic. Another thing that impressed me was the fact that the PlayStation 5's home screen was much more immersive. Like as you can see here, whenever scrolling through applications, the background changes and adjusts to each theme that the game has, whereas the PlayStation 4, when you move through different applications, it keeps the exact same default background, giving it a much less immersive feel. Now, something else that I liked about the PlayStation 5 Home was that they basically made two different categories, in separation of games and media. Meaning that if you want to watch Netflix, you have to go on the media side where you'll see everything that's related to the entertainment world. And on the PS4, they sort of divided it in a much sloppier way. Now, getting into the quick menus, on the PlayStation 5 to access the quick menu, all you have to do is press the home button on your controller and it will pop up. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, this definitely took me a lot of time to get used to because for me it felt messier, and in order to know what category you're in, you have to hover over it because it doesn't initially say what it is. Now on the PlayStation 4's quick menu, it tells you exactly where everything is. You don't have to hover over anything, and I found it much easier to navigate through. And that's something that I really missed about the PlayStation 4 because although it was less immersive, it was definitely more simple. Now moving on to the graphics of both consoles, I would definitely say that the PlayStation 5's graphics and frame rate is much smoother, especially in first-person shooters like Call of Duty. Also, sports games like NBA 2K21 gave off much more realistic factors like better shadows, more glass, more sweat, and even realistic faces. But one thing that could also make you want to buy a PlayStation 5 is the fact that it is also backwards compatible. So you really don't have to sacrifice being able to not play any of the PlayStation 4 games. Whatever graphics and games that I'm showing you on the PlayStation 4 can be downloaded and ran by the PlayStation 5. So if you are one of those people that were worrying about missing out on games, then you won't take any losses dealing with the PlayStation 5. Now moving on to the speed and load times, the PlayStation 5 is much faster in this department, making loads nearly non-existent. Like as you can see here, I will be starting up a game of 2K, and you can see that the PlayStation 5 went right into the game, while the PlayStation 4 went right into the loading screen. Now moving on to what makes the ultimate experience of gaming on a PlayStation, the DualSense and the DualShock 4 controllers are extremely amazing in both time periods they were made in. Now comparing the look of both controllers, I would definitely say that the DualShock 4 has my heart, because when we look at both of the controllers, the DualSense looks much more bland in comparison, whereas the DualShock 4 has the colored buttons on the right, and just many more colors, even though the DualSense is fairly new. And another reason that the DualShock 4 has my heart over the DualSense controller is because when you compare the PS3 to the PS4 or the PS4 to the PS5, the PlayStation 4's DualShock 4, it made much more of an impact. And I say this because the DualShock 4 revolutionized many more features than the DualSense ever could, like the added share button, the touchpad, motion control, and even the lightning bar was all revolutionized by the DualShock 4. But one thing I would give credit to the DualSense for is finally adding a mic to the controller to chat with friends and basically making a more polished upgrade for next gen gamers. I also like the weight of the DualSense controller. You know, when you compare it to the DualShock 4, it feels much cheaper in the hands, and even the press of the buttons gave me a much more premium feel. Now, another thing that I wanted to consider that a lot of people were wondering is, does the PS5 make any noise? And as you guys know, the PlayStation 4 was notorious for how loud it was, and many people were wondering if the PlayStation 5 was as loud, if not louder, and the answer is no. And even after many months of using the PlayStation 5, I never heard it get as loud as the PlayStation 4 did, so it's pretty clear who the winner in this category is. So here it is, you guys. To answer your question, is the PS5 worth getting over the PS4? And the answer is yes and no. Because if you are able to get one, then I will say yes, because if you can play your PS4 games on it, then all is well. But I will also say no, because if you're someone who is satisfied with your PlayStation 4 and have no interest in playing PS5 games, then you should definitely wait until the PS5 has more to offer. And if you guys made it to the end of this video, I would like to say thank you for sticking around, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It will be very appreciated. And as far as social media, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.